so Hoop Dogs a winner. Georgia beats Georgia College 66-52. I really like what I saw. Um, Georgia is still going to have a lot to work on, but for right now, that was a pretty good effort. I have the stats right here. Very happy Georgia won. Was coming into the game, I was expecting maybe a little more high scoring. Um, Georgia College played a good game too. Georgia College's team led by some seniors, a very experienced team. So I was kind of expecting a good game there. Hey, we did get a good game. Georgia College made it 6 multiple times in the second half. They led there for a little while in the first half, and you're sitting there saying like, I know it's an exhibition game, but you don't want to lose to Georgia College. But and they did, and Georgia won. Here are the stats right here. A bunch of freshmen and newbies showed out too, but you do get your main core back with Carrio, Jackson Eder, Braylon Bridges, Jalen Ingram. Here's the stats for Georgia. Carrio Quindo had, as I'm waiting for my thing to switch, Carrio Quindo had 15 points. I accidentally clicked play-by-play. That's not what I'm looking for. Team stats. Georgia went 24 for 51 field goal shooting. It's 47.1%. 6 for 22 on the scan of three-pointers. That's 27.3%. Free throws, Georgia went 12 for 19. Georgia will have to work on defensive rebounding. That was an awful problem in this game. Many times Georgia College missed a shot, and they got 5 rebounds per possession. I counted 4 once. I faked into one of the last drives of the game. They had about like 5. Lead changes. There was only 3 for each team. Georgia had the lead for 32 minutes. The last lead for the game for Georgia College was 22-20. Georgia, I was really impressed by the less amount of turnovers. Georgia only had 7 turnovers. Georgia College had 13, but if you go back to last year, Georgia was one of the most turned the ball over a lot. That's one of the most teams in the SEC to do so. Georgia had 4 blocks, 18 points off turnovers, 36 points in the paint. Technical fouls, Georgia did have 1. I don't necessarily know how it happened, but they did have 1. Leaders. The newbie, FMA, Matthew Alexander Moncrief had 15 points. Carrio Quindo had 15 points. Kayron Lindsey had 10 points. Justin Hill had 10 points as well. A bunch of dogs in double figures. Matthew Alexander Moncrief had 9 rebounds. Braylon Carrio had 4, and Justin Hill had 3. Justin Hill had 4 assists. Jackson Eder had 2 assists. Moncrief had 2, and Bridges had 1. We're only going to check some of these blocks. Moncrief and Bridges had 2, and steals. Justin Hill had 2, Moncrief had 2, and Kayron Lindsey had 2. And overall, you can't complain how Georgia played tonight. I am very I don't want to say this because I know this might offend some people. I'm kind of upset the fan turnout. If you could show up for G-Day, I understand why you can't show up for that. And it has more importance towards G-Day anyway, so, Georgia fans don't appreciate good stuff. But anyway. And look, shout out to Georgia College, too. They came to Athens with a chip on their shoulder. And played a pretty good basketball game. Unfortunately for them, Georgia played a a little bit better. If your final score is 66-52. The game tipped off at exactly 6:01. Pat Adams was your official, along with Robert Fielder and R.B. Klingberg. That's pretty much it. We'll have more to talk about later on in the week. We can see where we go from here. What players stood out. Of course, Kerry Oquendo being one of them. Can't complain about how Georgia played, though. Georgia played a good basketball game for a team to play their first game with a new head coach, with a bunch of new players. Very, very solid game for Georgia tonight. And that's where we're going to end this. Hoop Dogs win 66-52. Georgia will start the season Monday officially now. This was an expedition game. Georgia will start the season Monday. And, man, I tell you what, I'm very ready. You got the big game Saturday versus Georgia and Tennessee. And then after that, man, you know, we're going down the basketball season now. And I'll tell you, I am excited. I am very, very excited for basketball season. So it's here. I wait all year for it. It's here. So Georgia wins over Georgia College. Let's go Hoop Dogs. And I'm glad to see Georgia basketball back.
Dogs do the improbable, the unthinkable, the unbelievable. They beat Arkansas and go wire to wire to win the SEC tournament.